Sharif here. What are we having a look at today? The Marsu pod, if you call it Marsu, I don't know, M-A-R-S-U. Let's have a go. What a beauty. You don't only get that one, you get this one with it as well. So this is the charging case for it, but it's sort of a dual purpose. The pod itself is such a tiny thing, as you can see there. Look at it, it's very, very small. And it's got hardly anything to it, but it packs a punch, I'll tell you that. I'm very, very surprised. So what you do is, that's the pod itself, and you slot it in there. Once you slot it in there, you know, without pushing it, it just, you know, there's a bit of some sort of a magnet or something like that that stops it a bit, and you can use it like that. And if it runs out of battery, you just press it again, there, and it starts charging. So you can see, you know, the lights there. I mean, it's a brilliant piece of kit, really. Let's go and have a look, you know, at a bit more of a close-up. I've done a close-up for that one, so you can see what, you know, the bits and pieces in it, and the core and the pod. That's your, the Marsu pod. That's the manual there. I mean, the box is hardly anything to it, really. There it is there. And you know, has hardly anything to it, but that's how it is. That's the manual. It's quite a decent, fairly you know, very well laid out, you know, type of manual, you know, as you expect from UWELL. That's the pod itself, and you know, it's quite, you know, quite you know, concise to look at. But there you are. Here we have. Let's have a look at the actual one. That's the one we're interested in. That's how it comes. You know, it's a charging case as well. And look at that. Look, that's such a tiny thing. Yeah, it packs a punch. It works very, very much the same like the Coco, really. Even same power ohm in the pod itself. So this one, it works. I mean, it's a very innovative way of doing things, but you know, it's quite good. The only downside, it comes with one pod only, so that's a bit of a downside. No spare pods in there. So that's your charging case, and what you do is that one slots in there. So there's one, as you can see there, there's a bit of a resistance there. There's a bit of a magnet somewhere, and it stops there. So you can use it like that. And you can also, you know, if you want to charge it, then you press it in, you know, one more time, and then it stays like that. When you press it, or when you put it all the way down, you get those LED lights, and that tells you know that it's charging. It will be, you know, one of them will be flashing as well, and they will go down as the battery, as the PCC, the personal charging case, will, you know, depletes the battery. When it's charging as well, there's a bit of a flashing light that comes out here. It charges both sides. There's a tiny bit of LED there that tells you know that it is charging, and the battery is fully charged, you know, there. I'm going to show you the pod actually itself and how it's filled. And the pod is just a pull. It takes a bit of force, you know, to come out. There's no magnets in that one. It's just, you know, the contacts there, and that's the pod itself. Size wise, it's almost the same size as a Coco. But you know, performance is really surprised me, that one. But that's the pod there. You got a tiny bit there. There's a tiny arrow there. There it is. There you can see. So where the arrow points, you know, that's where you open it. The hole is you know, quite small. Again, you know, it's a very small pod itself. But I didn't have much of a problem. Some other pods, you know, I did have problems with them. Let's put it the other way around. Maybe that will show it a bit better. There it is. The seal is quite good. And all you do is just put it in there, and you know, off you go, and then you put it in, and it's, you know, it's a bit of a click there. There you go, and then you put it in. The good idea of it is you can use it like that, so you don't have to actually detach it altogether. But if you are, you know, going somewhere when you want to do a bit of stealth vaping, you can just take it all out and you know, and use it. Charging the PCC, it comes, it's a micro USB charge, so that's there it is there. And away you go. The downside of that is only one pod. I mean, I bought a bag of spares for it, just, you know, because I knew it was going to come with one pod only. But that's the only drawback of that. And when you want to charge it, be finished with it, or you know, using it, you just bang, slot it in there, and you know, away you go. So yeah, there you are. Let's go and talk about it a bit more and give you some more details. It does pack a punch, I have to say. Very satisfying vape. It is. It really is for the size. I mean, usually that size, you have to really draw it, for quite a while. But UWELL, was the makers of sort of a benchmark, really, you could say, of the Caliburn and the Coco. This one is very similar to the Coco, more so than the Caliburn itself. It's completely different design, I would say. As you can see, because it's got the charging case. The battery is, let's do a bit of, quickly, some tech specs in there. This charging case is 1,000 mAh worth of a battery in there. This one, however, is only 150, but it does last, a fair bit. But you're never too far away, from charging. It probably would do about 4 or 5 charges. I haven't tried it, but it probably will do something like that. The case itself, as a whole, as you can see, just like that, is 43 wide, 76 high, and 25, in that small part there. 1,000 mAh, as I said. Going to the pod, that piece itself is a tiny thing. It's 65 and point something, millimeter. That is quite quite a short one, quite a decent one. 18.4 and 10.6. So it's very lovely size. It's got a tiny LED as well when you vape. The amount of vapor and the density of it is really good. It's very comparable to the Coco and the Caliburn. However, the Caliburn and the Coco are 520, and that's it, full stop. This one is okay, it's 150, but you got 1,000 there with you, so that probably could do you a day vaping between the two. And you can charge it at the end of the day or whatever, micro USB, you can find it everywhere. The pod itself fires at 11 watts, and it's a 1.2. It's not the same coil that is in the Coco, but nevertheless it is 1.2 ohm, and the capacity is 1.3 mil. The big downside of this is that it comes with one pod only. There's no spare or anything, which is a bit of a downside. It should have really put. It's a bit naughty. Really, they should have put one more. So when I bought it, I bought a spare pack of pods. I think it's about 3 or 4 that come in a pack. So which will see me through. But I'm very surprised. I would certainly recommend it. Especially for stealth vaping. If you are anywhere, it's very difficult now to now we're in the into a lockdown. What can we do? So there's a bit of entertainment. You can have a look at what you can buy when we get released, shall we say. However, the all the deliveries are still working, so you can still buy online and and get it yourself. But yeah, you would certainly, if you're thinking of getting one of them, make sure that you buy spare pods, because what happens if that pod comes? I was lucky, this one came and it was working. Sometimes you get one pod that doesn't work, so it's a bit of a problem then it becomes. And what else can I tell you? But it's very light actually, so it's not something that you would heavy, and will be a bit of a chore. But yeah, it's even got the if you look closely in there, when I pull there's a cover actually. It's a cover for dust and all that, so it's quite hygienic really. I just put that one. So when you push the cigarette, as you can see there, the lever comes in and exposes the actual mouthpiece, which is brilliant. So when you put it in your pocket, it's all covered up. There's no dust or lint or anything that's going to go through. The LEDs are quite well indicated, as you see there. Very well indicated there. Your micro USB is down there. It's all in the close-up as well. So yeah, there we are. Certainly recommend that one if you're into stealth vaping, or if you're out and about and you don't want to carry. Us MTL users, well, certainly me. I don't like these bulky things, but especially when I'm out and about. So if I carry something like that, this, or even the other one, which I've done a review, you see shortly, is this iJoy as well. That's a very nice one as well. They're very comparable. I'm going to do a comparison between the two. So thank you so much for watching. Subscription please time if you reach the end of that video. So that'll be nice. And like and share, please. That would help, help the channel, and help, get you some more, bits and pieces for you to see and view and see how it works before you actually buy. Have a great day and keep safe. Thank you. Bye bye.